What's up, everybody? I'm John Middlekauff. You know what I need you to do. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got content for days reacting to every NFL game all the time, every single day. Subscribe, like the videos. Let's go. Okay, Brock Purdy. I was thinking about this because, listen, when a story breaks, I mean, part of the business I'm in, one huge advantage, a little inside baseball here, that I have over, let's say I had a 3-hour radio show, is news breaks on anything. I can immediately do a YouTube video and then repurpose that and put it on my podcast feed. The moment the news breaks, it could be at midnight, it could be at 7 in the morning, it could be at 3 in the afternoon, where historically, like if you have a radio show, well, if your show's from 3 to 6, if the news breaks after that show, nothing you can do till the following day. And it's a huge advantage we have here. So obviously, NFL news in some of these stories, especially in the offseason, are just a must to have an instant reaction. And the other day, I guess it would have been Friday, I was literally walking out the door. It was like 3 in the afternoon to meet my buddy Jeff Fong and a couple other buddies and go play like 9 holes and have a couple cocktails. It's Friday afternoon, enjoy some sun, and the news breaks. And we were teeing off in like 30 minutes. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna be a little late. I got to give a reaction to Brock Purdy. And Schefter's tweet is he got 5 years, $265 million, and then 5 minutes later, it comes out a little more detail, $188 million guaranteed. But NFL contracts are not like, I mean, one of the biggest conversations going on right now in baseball, do the Mets regret Juan Soto? Because the moment they pay Juan Soto, just like all these baseball contracts, I'm giving you five, six, $700 million. We don't need to go. Let's wait for the details. Let's see if there are injury guarantees, if there are offsets, if there are dates in the offseason. No. Every fucking penny is guaranteed. I mean, we've seen it in the NBA forever. It's like, wait, they just gave who $200 million? It's like, that is insane. And all these contracts in baseball and basketball are guaranteed. And in baseball, a lot of the time, it's like he signed a $500 million contract and he can opt out every couple years, where it's the complete opposite in the NFL. And it's always been the push, like guaranteed money. That's not the way we run our business because we have way more players, and the injury risk here, that would be a disaster. And do you know who benefits the most from the non-guaranteed money? Because when Purdy's contract came out, Florio on Pro Football Talk did a breakdown. It's actually the moment he signs the contract, $115 million. To put that into context, Jalen Green, who most people around the NBA thinks like a backup, got $104 million last offseason. So Purdy, like, listen, there's injury guarantees and some other stuff, but truly the money guaranteed the moment he signed the contract at a franchise worth $8.6 billion, and he's the starting quarterback, got $115 million guaranteed and a $40 million signing bonus. So I think sometimes, like, the NFL takes a lot of flack and they run their business completely different than these other sports. It's the reason their sport is the most healthy because they can pivot out of things. Like, if this Brock Purdy situation, I think it's going to go well. I think Brock Purdy's a good player. And watching him talk today, listen, this comparison isn't apples to apples because the other guy's one of the best players I've ever seen, but he reminds me a lot the way he conducts himself, the way he acts, the way he talks, like Scotty Scheffler. Now, Scotty Scheffler is going to go down as one of the greatest players ever. Obviously, Brock Purdy is not as good at his sport as Scotty Scheffler is at his sport, but just he's one of those guys completely unfazed by money. Will not be impacted one iota. Absolutely zero. Now, is he good enough? Especially the way we're going to talk about him now, we're going to find out in the next couple years. But if he's not, and this is a problem, and he either regresses or he gets exposed or whatever, which again, I don't think is going to be the case, the 49ers after the 2026 season can get out of this thing. And that's why the league's healthy. Because most of these contracts, even these crazy quarterback contracts, are like 3-year deals. Where we see in these other sports, these albatross contracts that you just can't move. It's like, do you know who gets screwed? The fans, the consumers. And there is not a business model that is more consumer friendly than this one. Now, if Purdy is just solid, he's going to see all this money. Let's use Carr as the example. Derek Carr actually gave back some money this year, but will have made over $200 million dollars guaranteed in his career. Why? Because he was good enough to just keep being the starter for year after year after year after year. And that's most of these guys, right? So I would expect him to be solid and him to make a lot of this money, but you always have the out if it's a problem. And I think that is the healthiest thing that the NFL does not tie themselves to this crazy guaranteed money that these former players like, we are getting screwed. Well, no, you're actually getting highly compensated. But we're taking a huge risk because you can get injured at any moment. So it's like if we did these other contracts, like baseball or like basketball, you would be unable to get rid of any of these guys. And the fan would get royally screwed. The NBA Finals are almost here, and every play could be one that changes everything. This is the NBA playoffs, where heroes rise, legacies are built, and the action never lets up. With DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, you don't just watch the madness, you live it. Back your favorite team, ride with your clutch time killer, bet on buzzer beaters, breakout performances, and game-winning threes. From player props to same-game parlays, this is how you take your fandom to the next level. Here's what I know. I love the T-Wolves. You can get them, lines are subject to change, on DraftKings right now at plus 265 to win the series. They have experience, they have been here before, and obviously they just have a really good team who's really hot right now. If you like them to win the series, I don't hate them then to win the NBA championship at plus 550. New to the game, no sweat. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll score $300 in bonus bets. It's that easy. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code JOHN. That's code JOHN for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets if your bets wins and you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. Crown is yours. Okay, a couple other things in the NFL. This just made me laugh. Today, I guess Caleb Williams refused to talk to the media. And unlike Rory, who did this last week, 21, 22, you're in this story that has to do with something that's happened 18 months ago. Some of it involves your dad. What am I'm on this team. What am I going to say? If I was his age, younger guy, if it was an older player and, there was some story like this, like you got to face the music, I give the guy a little grace. But Ben Johnson came out today and said, it's come to my attention that over this past week, our quarterback has been in the media. Not saying like Caleb has, but just that this has been a big story. I love it when like a new, young, kind of hotshot coach tries to come out with a lot like this. Ben, it's come to your attention. You live in fucking Chicago. Hell, you were on Colin's show last week and he asked you about it. It's come to your attention. No, it's just the story is the story. Now, if you want to respond as he did and say, listen, I haven't been here, my only experience, that's fine. I got no problem with that. But when you start and open up with a cheesy line, it just made me laugh. It's come to your attention. Do you think that story for a guy that's the head coach of the Bears, who's living in Chicago, local TV? Listen, I'm not even that big of like a local TV guy, but when you live somewhere, it's inevitable that you end up like, especially if you're just watching a basketball game and it's on ABC, that ends, all of a sudden you're watching the local news and you just see some stories. It is for him to downplay, like it just kind of floating out there. My media PR guy gave me this story. Just made me chuckle. I love a good kind of like cheesy, nerdy response to something that is a complete lie.